Pan is an Estonian filmmaker, animator and an artist. I equate him to Estonian Picasso. I was made aware of his filmmaking in the mid-90s, and they're really beautifully drawn but very challenging films. And at the time, all we knew about, and all anyone seemed to know around me of animation was what you see on TV or Disney. And the opportunity to see raw filmmaking which plays with narrative and conventions and twists it around and plays with it. Sound, the actual art of animation, so you'd see things that were held for a number of frames and then move again. Just really, really exciting. Breakfast on the Grass pulled together all of these aspects of his filmmaking in one film, which really blew my mind when I watched it. It's a journey for a whole ensemble of characters, and the most bizarre things happen to them. There's all sorts of themes, and it's really a critique of the state, basically, and them silencing creative filmmakers to make the films they want. So what they basically did was to make them as obscure as possible so that the state didn't understand what they were trying to ban. He teaches and travels and goes to festivals, and I was fortunate enough to go to his house when I went to Estonia once and saw a bit of his high life, because he's a bit flamboyant, so he is a bit like Picasso in real life as well. Yeah, he's just a aspirational kind of guy. Mark Baker, he's sort of been a constant influence. He's another sort of luminary kind of animator that I heard about when I was young. He went to the National Film Television School and made some beautiful, observant, character study, narrative, comedic, incident films. Yeah, he had a really unique design style. It was all cel and painted backgrounds, but it was very somber tones. It's 2D, it's old-fashioned in that sense, but there's a lot of texture in the background, done with paintbrush and scratching. It features a family living in basically a square box of a house, which is a farm, and they come out and tend to the animals. And then they're confronted by a group of tourists who just want to take photos of everything. The sort of ruthlessness with which they deal with the animals, for example, wringing the neck of a chicken right in front of the tourists, was beautifully done. The way he plays with sound and humour is fantastic, which is no surprise considering he's also the co-director of Peppa Pig these days. What is almost perfect children's TV because of a sense of timing mixed with design and comedy. I love the film Knick Knack, which is by John Lasseter. John Lasseter is the guy who founded Pixar, and Knick Knack was, I think, probably the first computer animation I saw, which clearly is going to blow my mind. The wonderful thing about Pixar back in those days, which is why it's still true now, is that they had such an attention to detail in the storytelling, the structure of the story, the comedy. It's not like you're watching computer animation. So Knick Knack itself is a film about a snowman in a snow globe, and he spots a gorgeous-looking girl. So it's really not cliche to be a snowman, but cliche in a guy meets girl kind of thing. But he's stuck in a snow dome. So then they have a lot of fun trying to give him ways to try to get out of that over to where she is. And that's again another Pixar thing where they just ram home, just like try this, try that, try this, and ramping up the fun and stupidity of it all. And then the climax is the snow globe falls off the shelf. The door trapdoor which was in the bottom of the snow globe, hence he couldn't get out, opens up. He jumps out while it's still falling, thinks, yes, I'm free for the first time in my life. I can go and get the girl. As he lands, he's back inside and it slams shut on him again. The timing of how they do that is just beautiful. So it's a forerunner for everything that came after, I think. Phil Malloy's Cowboys, I think it's a series of films actually that I saw on Channel 4 late night when I was younger. They're wildly anarchic, very blunt drawings, almost skeletal, of cowboys and fake adverts about cowboy products with ridiculousness, Monty Python, or broader even, and ruder and vulgar and harsh and death and everything all wrapped up in very quick succession with homemade sound effects, and so really sort of slap in the face, of animation. If you have a good idea for something, but not the time to make it Disney, then there's a whole world in between, including the most violently simple. It's like tearing down the rules and the system and doing something completely new. If I look back at it now, it's still quite surprisingly off the wall.
Oh! Who is this creature with terrible claws and terrible teeth in his terrible jaws?
Well, I chose the Gruffalo and I suppose Room on the Broom too because they're more recent pieces that I really love. They're both derived from books by Julia Donaldson, illustrated by Axel Scheffler. And they're beautiful books, but they've been so tenderly and lovingly and beautifully made into CG animation, but it keeps entirely the integrity. They're beautiful works of art, I think.
Why, Owl. Hello.
That's so beautifully rendered with the light and the texture and the subtlety and the characterization.
Oh dear,
he said.
Goodbye, little mouse. Oh.
For me, as an animator, it's leaping off the screen that it's beautiful to watch. Every part of the process has been tenderly done. It's a lovely story and it's got a very slow pace.
You see?
Said the mouse.
I told you so.
Astounding.
It is aimed at children, but it doesn't have to be bang, bang, wow. It's really nice and gentle. Personally, I think there's a real renaissance of animation. It's a bit of an animation boom right now in terms of technology advancing individuals' abilities to make films that are strikingly original in tone, texture and design. And this is a youthful generation of animators coming out from colleges and learning by themselves that are just amazing work. So I could pick multiple ones from there, but I wanted to look back in the past as well.